Well, it's the $60 million election campaign that has everyone seeing yellow. Clive Palmer's double-spread newspaper ads listing every candidate and their mobile number caught our eye. While Clive's never up for a chat when we call, will they be?
Do you think you can make Australia great?
I mean, they've mentioned all our baby food, mate.
He looked after him. Those workers forgive him.
There's no way we forgive Clive Palmer for what he did.
The United Australia Party will put Australia first.
Don't believe him.
It's the mother of all advertising campaigns.
Make Australia great, put Australians first.
Across TV, radio, newspapers, and now online. Everywhere you look, it's Clive Palmer channeling Donald Trump.
It's time to stop insanity and make this country as great as it could be.
For the last month, those full-page ads have included a picture of every United Australia Party candidate standing for election in the Senate and House of Representatives. Out of these 170 candidates, all of them, except for Clive, have their mobile numbers printed in these giant newspaper ads. So we decided to call a few of them and see who's up for a chat. Hi Larry, my name's Dan. I found your number in the newspaper ads actually. I thought it'd be interesting to ring you up and have a chat with a candidate. Have you got time for a bit of a chat?
Yeah, I do.
We never lied in any of these phone calls. None of them asked if I was a journalist. Where do you stand on climate change?
I think it's been blown out of all proportion.
Larry wants coal-fired power stations kept running, but the next candidate wants them shut down.
With the coal-fired power plants that we have here in Australia, we've only got 6. And so we'd be looking to try and reduce those numbers.
That could be news to Clive Palmer. He owns about $8 billion worth of coal in the same Galilee basin as the Adani project and wants to build a coal-fired power station there. But his candidates say Clive's mining interests are not the reason he's running for Parliament again.
Why do you think Clive can make Australia great?
He's got a phenomenal amount of money that he doesn't have to be doing this, but he wants to give back to Australia to see it great again.
But even Julie knows Clive Palmer's last crack at politics ended in chaos. 2 of his 3 Palmer United senators quit before seeing out a single term.
I just think she'll be going into political oblivion.
I feel he's changed now. He's different now than what he was back then, and he knows that he can't stuff up again when he first had a go at it. Yeah.
He realises he stuffed it up last time?
Definitely, yeah.
But Clive Palmer rarely admits to stuff-ups, and this time around has more candidates running than before, covering a wide array of backgrounds.
Hi, you've reached the voicemail for Untitled Chapter, candidate for Cowling, United Australia Party.
Do you think you can make Australia great?
That's what we're all about. That we're trying to make Australia great. Overseas people, they take over Australia. And then...
Was that the overseas people are taking over Australia?
Yeah, they bought a lot of assets from Australia anyway.
Vin Chow came to Australia in 1981 as a refugee from Vietnam, but says China is not to be trusted.
I can see them, they try to take all of Australia in one day.
You think they're going to take over Australia in one day?
Yeah.
The anti-China sentiment is a regular theme in Clive Palmer's ad campaign, even though his main income these days are royalties from an iron ore mine run by, you guessed it, China. WA Premier Mark McGowan.
He milks more than $1 million a day, cash, from the Chinese investors and then attacks Chinese investment. He is a greedy hypocrite.
But Palmer's candidates are united in the anti-China scare campaign.
Like, I can't go to China and buy land, but they can come here and buy land. I mean, they've mentioned all our baby food, mate.
This one even blames China for buying too much of our best fruit.
I love fruit, but I mean, it's been that long since I've bought any because it
every time you buy it, it's either hard or there's no flavour.
What are you going to do to fix that, though?
Well, as Clive says, we stop it.
Once you dig a little deeper, you realise these candidates are just repeating hollow slogans backed up by very few facts. The court proceedings initiated by Queensland nickel administrators chasing Clive Palmer for the $200 million allegedly owed to creditors is also a hot topic.
So he brought that to justice, won the case in the Supreme Court. Money's there now.
Did he win that court case?
Yeah, of course he won the court case.
Right.
So that's all on YouTube.
That trial begins in the Supreme Court in July. The facts are the federal government bailed out the Townsville nickel workers by paying $64 million of their entitlements. Clive denies he's done anything wrong and has now committed to paying the remaining $7 million owed.
Right, he did the right thing when they were put out of work. He looked after them. Those workers forgive him because they know what was. So what's Australia's problem?
What a load of absolute rubbish. He destroyed 800 people's lives.
Sam Larkin is one of those workers left high and dry after the Townsville nickel refinery went bust.
We didn't get money from the government. For 5 months, people lost their houses, marriages went under, there were some suicides. It was absolutely disgusting.
Sam says she's still owed $8,000 that Clive Palmer has committed to paying, but she has a clear message for voters.
You cannot trust Clive Palmer. You cannot trust him. He has done so many bad things.
It's a similar story on Queensland's Sunshine Coast, where Palmer's Cowling resort still lies derelict after closing its doors 4 years ago.
Clive, do you see yourself as a Basil Fawlty figure?
He's done a lot of damage here in Cowling.
Trish Bain has lived in the area for 40 years. The resort was once the backbone of the Cowling economy, hosting an annual PGA golf tournament. Clive filled it with dinosaurs and eventually shut it down, costing 50 jobs.
Do you think he can make Australia great when he can't even make a resort functional?
Sorry if I laugh, but that's laughable. How can he manage Australia if he can't even manage a resort or a refinery or whatever?
We believed him. We thought, wow, this is going to be so good for our area, but nothing, absolutely nothing happened.
Gay Williams runs a local cafe and can't believe that some people are ready to vote for Clive again.
How do you feel when you see those ads with him saying, "Make Australia great"?
So, make Australia great by getting all your signage printed in China, Clive.
Despite all that anti-China sentiment, these election signs were printed in Guangdong.
Why make China great? That's what he's doing.
We asked Gay to call her local United Australia Party candidate in the seat of Fairfax, the same seat Clive won back in 2013.
No, I'm not part-time. I'm full-time, fully retired from business, 100% politician. That's all I'm doing. Nothing else.
He quit after one term with a dismal attendance record in Parliament.
Do you believe he did anything for this Fairfax area? Is there anything you can tell us he did for us?
Well, that he probably should have been in the Senate, which is where he's running now, because to be a member for an area, an electorate, you need to be on the ground and running. And Clive, I don't think really thought that through between me and you.
Some refreshing honesty from one of his candidates as Clive asks for another turn.
I know that people have been let down by Clive and feel like they were underrepresented, and I fully acknowledge that.
I actually feel sorry for Kylie because there's no way in the world she'll be able to fix what the damage Clive has done.
Now, we did try to call Clive too, but he was one of the few United Australia Party candidates unavailable to talk on the phone.